I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Hoomon, why you got the angry face? Is it 'cause I eated your puny man animal? When Stephen King tackled his ill-fated and painkiller-fueled Dreamcatcher, he posited the bathroom as the last frontier, a haven of intimacy and vulnerability he sought to tear down like walls separating a certain European country divided between democratic and communist ideology. While I don't disagree that the bathroom, or loo, commode, or latrine, aka the Sheriff of Rottingham's cook/sometime witch, is indeed an awkward setting unexplored outside of gross-out comedies, I'd argue the bedroom is where the real emotional fireworks, including intimacy and vulnerability, lie. Once again, King comes up with an absolutely killer concept, and runs with it in a novel that's as icky as it is harrowing. Enter Mike Flanagan, the heir apparent to Reiner, Darabont, and Garrus, who delivers as strong an adaptation as possible given the general belief that this was a nigh unadaptable tale. Oh, make no mistake, you could adapt this sucker quite easily, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be an unholy mess. Fortunately, this is not. And yeah, I've seen Mr. Baseball, and I know Kobe beef is super fancy, but look at that puppo's face. Give him that overpriced meat. Go on. Anchored by a heroic, physically demanding, gut-wrenching central performance, a pair of sinister, perfectly honed beacons of toxic male domination, inventive direction, and sharp editing, Gerald's game succeeds by approaching this sensationalist and therefore potentially laughable situation with sincerity and compassion, a common Flanagan practice we'd later come to expect. Ever since Son-in-Law, I've been a Carla Gugino fan, and she's put through the ringer here. It's a nerve-wracking experience, and even in early scenes, her apprehension heightens the tension. She plays terror and realization extremely well, and we're with her all the way for the little victories, devastating failures, and impending doom as her brain begins to rebel and the line between reality, fantasy, and nightmare begin to merge. Greenwood does a terrific job of underplaying a role which could so easily slip into your typical pathetic, domineering hubby type. The flashback sequences are handled with expert care, and much of that credit belongs to Flanagan and co-writer Jeff Howard's coercive, psychologically damaging dialogue and the dual performances of Chiara Aurelia and an absolutely loathsome scum-sucker turn by Henry Thomas. The darkness buried within one's own psyche calls into question the whys and hows of seemingly average people doing terrible things. Gerald's game is about the long-term aftermath of emotional and psychological abuse, and how it manifests itself in both obviously negative, but also slyly shaded forms of comfort. If you told me there was no score aside from the diegetic tunes, I'd believe you. Silence is key and vital to enhancing Gugino's isolation and Flanagan's steady tightening of those real-deal handcuffs. He often employs simple yet clever visual motifs, as well as straightforward tricks like widening out further and further to clarify just how little her screams for help carry beyond the private, rich folk getaway pad. Flanagan's visualization of Gugino's inner monologue is a natural progression from his earlier Hush, where his heroine also appeared outside herself to advise and cajole. For those of us in the know, one of the most subtly impressive gestures is Flanagan's seemingly impossible feat of connecting Dolores Claiborne without making the reference overt. It works both ways, by acknowledging the connection like an Easter egg, but also seeming like an entirely natural, ambiguous bit of dialogue confined to this one narrative. It could so easily have been skipped over, but I'm grateful he decided to go for it. Of course, Carol Stroiken's terrifying Is He or Isn't He boogeyman casts an ominous pall over the entire film, and certainly represents a turn few would likely expect for something with as simple an elevator pitch as this. The gore factor is brief but gruesome, and many of the body horror sequences are mesmerizing even as they're repulsive to watch. The final third begins to wane just a tad, though Flanagan's changes do feel justified, and the ending might seem abrupt and even a little mystifying to some. Still, Gerald's game is a major achievement, especially considering the odds stacked against it. If you're looking for some kind of kink to spice things up, this is the one. Happy Kingtober. Like and subscribe, and remember, there are other worlds than these.